Hello and welcome to this tutorial for users of Microsoft PowerPoint 2016 for the Mac. In this tutorial we're going to continue looking at working with text and text boxes in PowerPoint. Text boxes are the foundation of PowerPoint when you're communicating with your PowerPoint presentation, so it's very useful to have a very good understanding of how to use and work with text boxes. What I have on the screen here is a new presentation with the default title template. So first of all, what I'm going to do is add some text to both these boxes, and the first thing I'll do is click in the Click to Add Title box, and my title will be Working with Text. And I'll then click in the second box where it says Click to Add Subtitle, and I will type in there and text boxes. Full stop. And now I'll click back onto the title, and you can see the surrounding border of the text box, and of course we have these buttons around the edge on the corners and in the middle, and these are the drag handles. And as you may have seen before, if you click and drag on any one of these, you will cause that text box to be resized in whichever direction you drag. Now at the moment, as you can see, I can freely drag that text box and shape it in any direction, and the proportions of the box aren't constrained in any way. There are times when you want to constrain the proportions and simply resize the box and keep the same aspect ratio. To do that, you simply hold down the Shift key on the keyboard as you drag one of the corner handles. So if I hold down the Shift key and drag that corner handle, what you'll see is the text box remains in the same proportion but is resized vertically and horizontally. To move a text box to a new location, it's simply a matter of putting the mouse pointer on the edge of the box, get the four-way arrow, and then click and drag and relocate to wherever you want it. If you want to position the text box precisely on the page, you can use the Arrange button, and you'll find that on the Home tab over on the right in the Drawing section, and also on the Shape Format tab. So I'm going to go to the Shape Format tab now, and you'll see here my Arrange button. If I click on the drop down arrow, you'll see a number of options, and Align is one of those options. If I click on the Align drop down there, you'll see we have the alignment options, and these are for the text box and not the text within the box. For example, if I click on the Align Left button, you will see the text box jumps over to the left. If I come back to the options and choose Align Right, the text box jumps to the right of the slide. And finally, Align Center, you will see there the text box is now positioned precisely in the center horizontally of the slide. If you also want it positioned right in the middle, you can do that by again clicking the Align button and click the Align Middle option, and that will then put that text box precisely in the center of the slide. However, doing that obscures my subtitle text, so I'm going to move it. And another way you can move the text box is, again, just check you've selected the box by clicking on the edge, and then you can use the arrow keys on the keyboard and just either press the arrow key to move slowly or hold the arrow key down, and that will move the text box a bit more quickly. And of course you can move it in any direction depending on which arrow key you press. If you want to format the text within the text box, there's two ways you can do that. You can either select individual parts of the text, but first of all what I'm going to do here again is click on the edge of the text box, go back to the Home tab, and first of all I'm going to come to the Paragraph section, and we'll look at arranging the text within the text box. Now you can see here we have the left, center and right formatting buttons, but I'm going to come over to the right side of those options and click on the drop down for that final button, which is the Align Text button. And you can see here we have top, middle and bottom. Bottom is currently selected, and if I click on middle, you'll see the text jumps to the middle of the text box, so it's located now centrally. You can also rotate the text box by putting the mouse pointer on the button above the text box, and you'll get this circular arrow icon there. When I see that icon, I can click and drag left or right to rotate the text box. If I want something a little bit different, I could maybe rotate like so, and then click on the edge and drag that rotated text into the corner of the slide, and then click away when I'm happy. And I might want to do some formatting with my second text box, so again I'll just click on the text first of all and then click on the edge of the text box. So I'm going to set the alignment again, make sure the text is centered by clicking the center button, and also click on the drop down for the alignment and choose middle. I'm going to reduce the size of the text box initially, so I'll click and drag. In fact, I'll hold down the shift key as well to constrain proportions, like so. Release the mouse button, and I can just click and drag and locate that somewhere centrally. And if I want to locate it more precisely, of course, I can come to the Arrange button. In this case, this is on the Home tab in the Drawing section. Click on the drop down, and this time I'll find the Align option at the bottom of that list there. And I'll first of all choose Align Center, come back to Arrange again, come down to the Align option, and finally choose Align Middle. Then just click away, and that piece of text is now centered vertically and horizontally. And if I click again on the text box, I'm going to make the text a little bit bigger, and there's two ways I can do that. One is to click the up arrow here, so you see an up and down arrow where the letter A is in the font section, and these are for simply increasing and decreasing font size. And as I click, you will see the font size jump up in the size box, and of course on the slide you will see the font increasing. And when it gets too big for the text box, you will see it goes on to multiple lines as well, so that's something you might want to watch out for. If you want that particular text size but want it to be retained on a single line, what I would do now is come back to the drag handle on the left or the right, and I can drag horizontally, and gradually my text will return to be on a single line like so. And if I release the mouse button, you'll notice it's not centered anymore, so I still need to go back to the Arrange options, come to the Alignment option again, and choose Align Center. Again, click away. And of course, there are many more formatting options, and we'll explore some of those as we work through the tutorials. But just one more thing I'll show you here, one thing to be careful of, is if you click on part of your text. So for example, if I wanted to change the color of this text to say green, I might come to the drop down options for the text color, choose green, and only that one word that I've clicked on has the color applied. So be careful if you want to format all the text. As I said before, click on the edge of the text box, and I can now go back to my color option, click, and that will apply the color across the entire text box. Now if you've been experimenting with formatting along with me and you'd like to reset everything back to how it was in the beginning, you can do that. If you come to the Slides section on the Home tab, you'll find a button called Reset, and if I click on that Reset button, that will return the formatting of the title and subtitle text box based on the original template format. And that completes this brief look at working with text boxes in PowerPoint. I hope you found some things there that are useful and you can apply to the presentations you're working on. But in the meantime, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.